Welcome to the Tap Room Exclusive. I'm Dean Zarbaugh. I'm here at Collision Bend Brewery. I am with Luke Purcell and Ben Northeim, brewers for Collision Bend. Thank you guys for being here. How's your day going?
Doing well.
Doing well now, yeah.
So we talk a little bit about Collision Bend first. You guys opened just over, 2 years ago?
It'll be 2 years coming up here next month, actually. So April 17th, 2017 was our opening day. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, we were talking a little bit off air. I remember when I left Ohio to go to college and stuff, the Flats wasn't really anything to come down to at that time. And now it's really cool to see you guys down here kind of helping reinvigorate this area. So you opened in 2017. Obviously, Luke, you've been in the brewing industry, for a while now. What was the inspiration to kind of come off and start your own place and brew here?
That was really just sort of like more kind of right timing, right place kind of thing, right group of people. I think as a brewer, all of us are. It's always in the back of your mind, or sometimes further towards the front of your mind, to maybe start your own thing. And I think everybody gets into it. And eventually, at least, is thinking that way. I think you always have to keep an open mind, and I always did. There was other opportunities that had kind of come along, and it didn't seem like the right fit for me personally. And then this just came along just at kind of the right time in my life, kind of the right time seemed like a great group of people that was getting together. It was very appealing to me to be pairing up with people that I thought were going to stress the quality of the restaurant itself, outside of the beer, food-wise and everything else. And really, that was really important to me because I think that's a big deal, and bigger now than ever. In the competitive world of craft beer, everything you can do to set you apart is a big deal. And I think good food with good beer is going to be one of those things for me. So
absolutely. And Ben, we were talking just before we went on. You started here March 1st, and we're pretty much brewing March 2nd. How talk a little bit about that? Where were you brewing? What's your brewing history as well?
Typically, like every other brewery, started at home probably 8 or 9 years ago. Friends got me into it and kind of fell down that rabbit hole instantly. Eventually got a job at the brew kettle and the brew on premise, helping other people learn how to brew. When an opportunity arose, I went to Buckeye Canning, which is now Ironheart Canning. So I was helping go to different breweries and can beer for them. Then I had another opportunity to go back to the brew kettle and actually get in the production side of things, and get on the brew stand. Immediately fell in love with that and knew that's what I wanted to do. Met Luke a few times before, just casually, like doing some things in the industry, and then he had the opportunity for a brewer, so I applied for it and crossed my fingers.
Nice. That it's been awesome. You guys are doing some really great stuff together.
Thanks.
We're sitting in front of the Sunset Wheat right now. This is talk a little bit about this beer. This is the first beer you guys canned, actually, isn't it?
It is the first beer we canned. This was a beer that was actually formed in my head. Well before we opened. I knew people that had worked at our space before when it was the Watermark restaurant, and they worked with me up at Great Lakes. The one gal kept saying, the sunset, you can't believe the sunset from that patio, and she remembered it from those Watermark days, and which I didn't know because the Watermark restaurant was one of the finer dining spots down here, and it was the one that I usually walked by going to the cheaper establishments, if you will. So for me, it was just in my head, like Lake Erie Sunset or something Sunset. And there's a lot of beers out there with the name Sunset. So making it specific to our spot and our, obviously Lake Erie refers to right here. We're on the Cuyahoga River. I almost said Rocky River. Love the Rocky River Brewing guys. That's why it's always in the back
those
of my
guys
mind.
are awesome.
So just being right here on the mouth, right by the lake, and seeing that sunset come over here, especially when we first we're coming down here and seeing this place come together. It was wintertime, and even on those nice sunny days, you could see what everybody was talking about. So this is one of those rare occasions where the beer name came before the beer itself.
Nice.
And so the style appropriate, I think, we're thinking sunset, I wanted something light and approachable for the diverse crowd we expected to get down here, which has proven to be pretty true. And it worked out really well. It's a beer that appeals to really a wide range. It really has been a little bit more than expected, I would say, on my part anyway. I thought maybe it would just be like that person that really wasn't into craft brew coming in and having it, but I catch IPA drinkers out on the patio having it once in a while. So
yeah, it's a
cool.
great brew, man.
Yeah.
If you like, I like to get away from stuff, and if I'm always on IPAs or something, it's nice to go to something and try something different. And this is a really nice, crushable, easy drinking brew.
Numbers, but if you remember, how much more became our number one seller in our first summer, and it has stayed there by a wide margin.
Almost double. Of the next closest beer, consistently every summer.
Wow, that's crazy. And for it to be a wheat, in an IPA heavy dominant market, that just speaks to the quality, in my opinion, of the style, and the cans of it too. I remember when those came out, the look on it, the artwork you guys had for it was awesome. It stands out on a shelf.
Yeah, so that goes that went to our decision. Like you said, it was the first one we decided to can when we did our first run of cans, and we brought in the Ironheart guys where Ben used to work to do that. Guys and gals, I should say, because they have a big crew and lots of people. They do a great job. The quality's there. We were comfortable with that. It was nice to have Ben, who had been around them and know that a little bit more than I did, even from working with them in the earlier days. And so that was kind of cool. We chose the Sunset based on sales, based on that was what our customer we were feeling would like to see first. And also because of the imagery that we were, that was in our head, we thought that's going to make a really cool can. And it ended up, our folks at Epstein designed that can, and we just loved it. So it worked out really well on all aspects because of the colors and the orange, just the bright sunset. It even stands out on the shelf. So it's it works in every different way you could think, And
that's a hard thing to do these days, is stand out on a shelf.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just such a crowded marketplace, and anything you guys can do to, get yourself out there, that's what you got to do. And so let's talk a little bit about the wheat. Is that a style that you guys personally like to drink? Is that a style you appreciate? What is it about wheats that you like?
I like the style just because it is very light and refreshing and easy to drink, especially on a warm summer day. I don't know. Sometimes you get overwhelmed with your palate with hops and even some of the maltier beers, So this is that nice baseline in between. It's just a good everyday drinking beer. I absolutely love brewing this beer. It's because it's so popular. It's fun to brew.
And so there's is it oranges, blood oranges? What's the
it's blood orange.
Blood orange. Yep. And so how does that? What does blood orange bring out in a beer versus why did you choose blood orange?
Sounds cool. It's very seasonal, which we thought this beer would maybe be, which it has become. We've eased into it being, and for the canned version anyway, to be our summer seasonal now, which is cool. I think that's the right place for it to be, although we do brew it for draft all year round. So you will see it around town a little bit, even in the winter. Definitely on tap down here at our pub all year. And that was based on the first time we ran out of it, I think. We got an uproar of our new customers. We don't want to make, we're trying to get open and get established. So you don't want to anger your clientele the first month. So we decided not to run out of that beer again.
Well, it paid off very well for you guys. You guys were nominated and voted the number one brew pub in the U.S. By the USA Today Reader Poll in 2017. And for your first year, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. What was the craziness behind that?
Well, you know what? We saw that pop up, and to be honest, we don't know how we got nominated. And once we got nominated for that, it was very exciting. And they say that they have USA Today says that they have a crew that travels and selects, nominates that way. So apparently somebody on that crew liked us, so that's cool. It was an exciting time. We were all making sure our staff was voting, because you could vote, I think, once a day or something. And
nice.
that kind of stuff. And we got very excited about it on social media, and it just kept pushing. And then all of a sudden we're thinking, like, if we can just get in the top 10 or something to be kind of cool,
right?
You know, here being our first year. And then it just kept gaining momentum. And I really do think Clevelanders got behind it. So we're the only ones that were nominated from the area. So I think everyone kind of rallied around it because it became a Cleveland thing more than just a Collision Bend thing.
Right.
So that's kind of cool too.
I think people in Cleveland here are really passionate about craft beer. I mean, we've got such a great scene, just, you know, nationwide overall. I mean, we just have such a wealth of great breweries and
absolutely
great brewers down here. So it's great to see, you know, the attention given to this side of things. I think sometimes Ohio gets overlooked for like Colorado and stuff like that, and everybody's got some great stuff, and it's really nice to kind of get out and try everything. So with the Sunset Wheat, you know, it's a nice, easy drinker, not very. It's poundable. It's just you know, in a can and everything. You know, it reminds you of summer even when you come down here in the winter and get it. It's
that's a good way to put that. I like it.
It's like
our whole pub atmosphere, I think, can remind you of summer, even in the winter. Which is kind of cool that you said that about that beer, because I would definitely like to see more people down here in the winter. We're not on an island down here. Like I think I told you that the other day. I was like, it's kind of crazy, but it's beautiful down here all
really
winter.
is.
And if the sun does decide to shine one day, it's like just awesome down here. Especially if the river's frozen over a little bit and then the sun comes out. It's pretty cool down here.
And you guys got some miraculous views. I mean, you guys with the amount of windows you put in this place, I mean, it's awesome. You get
those were here.
Well,
thank goodness,
yeah.
That was some old timer that was building this nice little restaurant down here back in I don't know. Well, actually, it was probably I really couldn't tell you. Probably someone in the Watermark did that. I wouldn't imagine when this was a chandlery is what this building was called, at a basically supply store for merchant marines and people that were working out on the lake. I wouldn't imagine the whole front end of it, the river side of it, was covered with glass.
Yeah,
at the
probably
time.
not.
So we'll have to credit the Watermark people for that.
Well, good thing they did that, because
and
you guys, you know, the patio that you guys do, and you guys have a 4-season patio too, and I mean, it's nice to go out there and just relax and watch the ships kind of come through if they do, and you know, it's fun. I've been over to Nautica for concerts and stuff, and my favorite thing to do is watch like the behind the scenes people who haven't been there before. They turn away from the concert and only watch a boat going by.
Yep.
And it's like you could have like Jack White or somebody huge playing, and they're like, no, I want to see this boat. Like, I've never seen a boat this close.
We were down there this past summer for a concert, and the lead singer kind of stopped, and you could tell he was watching it come around the bend. And he did 2 songs, and when the end of the second song came, he stopped, and he was like, that thing is still going by us.
Yeah, it's hard to get around here. I mean, and that's how the name came about, isn't it? Collision Bend, that turn, isn't that the turn?
Yeah, it's the turn back, a couple bends back.
Okay.
Back towards a little bit past the stage. That was Jacob's Pavilion, that's what it's called.
Yeah. And so, like, it was, you know, ships were crashing and crap back then. I mean, I could only imagine, you know, seeing one come through here, getting 2 or 3, you know, coming through at the same time. Like, that's crazy.
We see people, so you'll see it come by, and you'll see if it's a good crowd in the pub. You'll see like everyone running outside, or if they're already out there, they're all getting their cameras. Like, you know, whether they're Clevelanders or they are tourists, it's like a bunch of tourists coming through. And you would think, like, after being down here and getting used to it for 2 years, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to us. But even when we're brewing and we're the only 2 in here, like, if one comes by that we haven't seen in a while, we're like, oh, check it out. We're like, run to the door. So
makes you feel like kids again.
We love to see the seagulls in the wintertime, especially. It stirs up some food for them. So there's an occurrence that happens behind there that the people that work on the boats call a Guldnado. So we named one of our IPAs Guldnado.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
I've never heard of that term before.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's really cool. So Sunset Wheat, you guys are about to actually put back into cans. Am I right on that?
That's right.
When can people expect to see that? Hopefully out on shelves, late March, mid March.
We're releasing it April 5th at all Heinen stores, and then every other place that we distribute to should see it that following Monday or Tuesday.
Very cool. Great beer, great design on the cans. Definitely a must try. If you have not tried it yet, seriously, get it. Come down here and try it on tap. Great beer. Anything you want to get out about the beer that I might have forgot to touch on?
No, just give it a try. Hopefully, don't expect it to be over the top fruity like some fruit beers are. That was done on purpose. We wanted it to be a nice, balanced beer that tastes like beer. So the orange is there, but it's not the dominant flavor necessarily. And what I really like about it personally is that this nice tart finish that it has. It finishes, kind of leaves you wanting more beer, which I think is kind of a smart way to brew beer.
That's the best way to brew beer, I think. Well, thank you guys for being here. Tune in next week for another episode on Collision Bend.